So today we're doing a video about on how to build upper chest mass. Now, also mass and also shape as well, because a lot of guys got the mass but not the shape. What I mean by that, a lot of guys basically got the volume, but it doesn't quite look right, you know, just doesn't kind of like make the upper chest area balanced. Okay, so one of the things I see all the time is people performing chest and upper chest exercises incorrectly. What I mean by that is, I give you an example from the top of my head, shoulders well flared up. Okay, now as you guys know, when you start doing the upper chest and low, obviously pectoralis major, which is the bottom part of the chest, with elbows flared up, a lot of tension goes onto your deltoid, and if you get injured, if your deltoids, for the guys that don't know what deltoid is, really just a shoulder area, basically you're gonna get injured, and it's not a nice injury. There's not nice injuries, but that particular injury is not nice, because obviously it will stop you from doing arm work, obviously back work, chest, and obviously if you can't do that, you can't do much stuff on your body. So anyway, but going back to the upper chest, how do you build upper chest? Now, I'm going to show you several exercises, and I always do these with these videos, guys. I'm not saying this is the only exercise you need to do in order to build the chest, but that's just some ideas for you guys out there that are looking to become a stronger, happier version of yourselves and build a stronger physique that can use these sort of techniques that I have acquired over the years of experience. Okay, come with me. So what we're going to do here, it's basically a upper chest exercise. So once you place the bench at this angle, you pretty much, without wanting it, whether you like it or not, you are activating your lower pecs, so your upper pecs. Okay, your lower pecs as well, without, obviously a lot of people say, right, okay, how can I just isolate the upper pecs but nothing else? It's impossible. Okay, your muscles, as you guys probably know, work synergetically. So obviously when you're trying to activate a particular muscle, you are also activating other parts of the area. But what you're trying to do, what I always say to my clients, is maximize what you want to work on and minimize what you don't want to work as much. So let's say if I'm trying to work on my upper pecs, for instance, let's say the last thing I want is my quads to be activated, because I don't really want them to be activated, because I'm focusing on my upper pecs. So the key really is to activate the upper pecs itself. So the biggest thing is select an exercise and a weight of which you can work comfortable with. Now, what I mean by that is not about being in there and doing loads and loads and loads of reps until the cows come home without any benefits to you. Now think about, if your goal is to gain mass, you've got to work with a weight that probably works between, more or less, because this is just very much so, there's a massive sort of like debate about, is it 8 reps, is it 6 reps, is it 10 reps, is it 12 reps? What I say to you is this: work with a weight that works for your body, because depending on whether you're an ectomorph, mesomorph and endomorph, depending on your body composition. Okay, now what I mean by that is whether you are a slimmer version, whether you are a bigger version, or you are a slightly larger version of yourself. So depending on how your body is composed, you will designate a particular amount of reps and a particular amount of weight. So, but anyway, but that doesn't sort of run away from the particular way. You should travel on the exercise itself. What I mean by that is how you perform. So I'm just going to basically pick a weight of which I'm just going to demonstrate this exercise. I'm not here to tell you or to show you how strong I am. It's not about that. It's about to perform the exercise correctly. So I'm just going to pick there's some weights around, so there's some 12s here. So I'm just going to basically pick up the 12s, quite easy. So I'm going to show you what I mean by activating the upper pec region. Now, the guys that probably don't know where the upper pec region is basically this area of the chest. Okay, so it basically sits around here. So if you like you've got the upper pec region, you've got the lower pec region, which is activated by other exercise, of which is another video to do. So the upper pec region is quite a big part, believe it or not. So it ranges all around here. Okay, and I'm just going to perform the exercise to show you. Okay, so I'll pick the weights slightly wider than the shoulder width. Yeah. First things first, obviously good stance. Okay, strong core, head in line. Okay, with your spine. Now the last thing you want is flared the shoulders out, because a lot of guys do this, and a lot of guys want to do this, just bring the weight up and down as fast as they can to really show how strong they are. It's not about that. It's about keeping your basically your chest tight, big stretch, coming up, good squeeze without locking the elbows, because remember, if you lock your elbows, you are putting tension onto the joints, so it's about squeezing your chest, so like so. So what I'm doing here, I'm basically stretching, so it's causing the eccentric contraction, of which I explained before in other previous videos, which is stretching the pectoralis minor area, okay? And then when I'm coming up, I'm squeezing the pectoralis minor area. So what I'm basically doing, for the guys that probably like a little bit more detail, what I'm doing on here, the upper pecs, I'm actually stretching the muscle, okay? And then basically when I'm coming up, I'm shortening the muscle. So via that amount of weight, what I'm trying to do, obviously I can lift a lot more than that, but what I'm trying to show you guys is how important it is to focusing on that squeeze, because that squeeze is everything. Okay, now, one common mistake I see people doing here, and maybe you guys will probably see this as well, a lot of this, okay, a lot of elbows out, okay, a lot of swinging, so basically I'm pushing the weight with no purpose, so I'm just pushing the weight up, okay, that's another one. Coming up too short, so they're coming up too short there, as you can see that I'm not squeezing all the way to the top, so the muscle's not really squeezing it properly. You get a lot of guys that get in this sort of squeeze and twisting, but they're not going low enough, so they're just working through this sort of range of motion, which is, if you like, I'm really just working on the 30-40% of what the muscle can work. So that's a big mistake. So I'm going to show you another exercise of which is very, very, very important when doing the actual upper pecs. Okay, come with me. So this is an incline barbell press. Okay. Very simple method to activate your pecs. Now, one of the things I find, and if Antonio spares me, yes, man, come join.
Yeah.
Yes, guys. So basically, we're going to be doing incline chest press. So I'm just going to go through a few things that a lot of the times we tend to see wrong. So when you do incline bench press, obviously make sure the bench is more or less at this particular angle. Why? Because that particular angle will kind of influence your chest to contract at the very top, obviously, of the chest, which works this sort of pectoralis minor, which is a smaller part of your upper chest. Okay, for the guys that probably not so much anatomically clued up, is basically the smaller area of your upper clavicle area, if you like. Okay, now this particular exercise activates that area. Now there's many ways of doing it. Obviously there's guys out there explaining, like me, how to do it, but one thing I sometimes see is some people think one size fits all. It doesn't. Okay, there's many ways of doing it, and I'm not just here to explain to you guys there's only one way to do it. There's many ways to do it. However, I'm just going to explain a few ways to do it in order to help you build that area. Okay, so I'm just going to go through a few things of which are very important. Okay, stance is vital. Basically, very important. So make sure you've got a really good stance. Now, what you find is a lot of guys, when they do this particular exercise, they arch their back far too much. One of the reasons is because obviously they want to try to lift more weight than what they need. Two, for obvious reasons. Now, if you're a power lifter, obviously it's different because that's the focus, is lift as much weight no matter what. But obviously, if you want to build muscle, the main focus is make sure the muscle feels the exercise correctly. So feet shoulder width apart if you can, feet flat on the floor. Okay, so there's a nice stance. So make sure your core is tight. Okay. Now this is a lot of big arguments people talk about, which is obviously width. How wide do you go? How narrow do you go? Okay, let me just clear a few things. Okay, now if you start beginning to go too wide, as you guys probably know already, you start focusing a lot on your shoulders. So obviously this particular exercise, you want to minimize the shoulder activity and maximize the upper chest activity. So I don't want to be working my shoulders here too much, otherwise it's pointless me doing this particular exercise. So what I want to do really is bring in my can you see these marks here? I don't know if the camera can actually come close. There's little marks here. Now what I find for me that works really well is come within those marks. Okay, now if I start going too narrow, as again, if you see guys doing it, you start working too much of your tricep muscles, of which really, in this particular exercise, again, you want to minimize, obviously, whether you like it or not, your triceps are going to be working. However, you want to maximize chest workout, not tricep workout, otherwise you're working something else completely different. So to resume the story, a bit long story short, stay between that and there. So more or less there, okay? Now, make sure you got, as I said, a good stance on your feet, perfectly flat on the floor, so core tight, head back, okay? And when you pick the weight up, obviously this particular bar weighs 20 kilograms, there's not much weight on it, okay? So you're gonna pick the weight up and basically lift. When you lift, make sure you basically are well adjusted so you can actually begin to start the phase of going down. So when you go down, the main focus, you see a lot of people is flare their shoulders up. The minute you do that, the tension goes onto your deltoid muscles, the front part of the shoulder, which is really, really bad. And if you injure that, you may not be working out for a long period of time. So make sure your elbows are nice tucked in, so they're not flared out. They're tucked in. If the camera comes close, I'll show you. So that is flared elbows. That is tucked in, so you're nice and tucked in there, so you really can squeeze your chest muscles. Now, when you come up, make sure you don't lock your elbows. You see a lot of guys doing this, they flare their elbows out and then lock their elbows, okay? That's a massive mistake. So the focus is to bring your elbows nice and tucked in, so you're activating your pectoralis minor. Your pectoralis major will work here as well, as you guys know, but hopefully won't be as much as the pectoralis minor. And then you come up and you squeeze and tense your upper pecs. Now, for the guys out there that might not understand or misunderstand what I mean by squeezing it, what I mean is you shortening the muscle and you lengthening the muscle. That's all it's all about. In order to build muscle, the two phases, no matter how big or small you are, no matter what you lift, heavy weight or lightweight, the biggest thing you're doing is, on that particular exercise, whether it's chest, bicep, tricep, legs, whatever it is, you are shortening the muscle and you lengthen the muscle. Simple as that. So the biggest thing for this particular exercise is to coming up, squeezing the upper pecs and stretching the upper pecs on the way down. Simple as that, obviously with weight. So what I'm going to do now, and hopefully Antonio will be able to assist me on this particular exercise here by utilizing his camera skills. You guys are going to probably see me doing this particular exercise here very, very slow, and I'm going to do this exercise slow for one obvious reasons, because it's a lot of people, when you do this exercise, it's almost like a sprint. They want to lift the weight as fast as they can because they want to show off, okay? Now you probably see, guys, I'm going to show you a couple of things that people do badly, and I see it all the time. They pack the weight, obviously, because it's all about the gains, by the way. A lot of the guys, they'll pack a lot of weight, and all they want to do is want to get the bar from if you like, from the hooks into the air. So they lift the bar up, okay, and then the first thing they do, they lock. Okay, that's the first thing. Okay, so there's no tension on the chest at all. Okay, now when they go down, they don't go low enough, and they just stay there, and they go up. And they think they're going to build a hell of a chest by moving from, if you like, I call it the very partial rep. So 0 to 10, imagine from an eccentric and concentric contraction, they move literally 30%. And they think they're going to really build an amazing chest. You will not do that. If you speak to any guy out there that's built a decent physique, they will tell you, if you don't work through full range of motion, you will not build a body properly, okay? You'll end up with loads of different imbalances, and then eventually you'll end up with injuries as well, because obviously you'll have muscles that are more developed than others. You'll have probably a big arm, then big arms, then bigger shoulders than back, and then it gets all messed up. And once one is out of alignment, you name it, everything starts beginning to be out of alignment. So the biggest thing for me here, the big instruction I'm going to give you guys here is, obviously, when you pick the bar up, really the big focus is make sure you're traveling full through range of motion. So what I actually do myself, I make sure the bar touches my chest, not rests on my chest. So it's bang like this, so squeeze, big stretch and go, squeeze, big stretch and go, squeeze, big stretch and go. So 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. So that's really, I can feel it right now. Now a lot of the guys, what they do is they go bang, bang. It's all about lifting the bar as fast as they can with not much purpose really. So really the purpose on there is just removing the bar. That's all it is. And then ask why the chest not building. So so the biggest thing for me today to show you guys is make sure your stance, the grip is correct, okay? Other thing I see a lot of guys doing is maybe more sort of an advanced sort of level. A lot of guys don't grip the bar well. I hate that. I think for the guys out there that are trying, obviously, I'm a bit old school when it comes to that particular thing. So when you grip the bar, a lot of the guys do this. You see this. This is a big dangerous thing, obviously, no matter how strong or weak you are. If that goes, you are up the creek without a paddle. So I really advise you guys to really grip the bar properly. There's a reason why you've got a thumb, is to grip properly, okay? Don't do this, because all it takes, and don't take me wrong, I've been in the game for a long time, all it takes is you to literally lose control of that bar and your shoulder's gone. So it's not worth the hassle. So the other thing as well, make sure you travel through full range of motion. Why? To develop muscle fibers. Remember, it's all about the stretching and the squeezing, okay? So when I go up, my chest squeezes. When I go back, my chest stretches. So here we are, another video for you guys to help you guys become stronger versions of yourself and train correctly as well. And I always say to you guys, we always learn together. So as although I've read over 1,500 books in the area of physical development, training, personal training, coaching, and loads of things, I'm still learning with you guys as well. So I do research every day. I'm trying to learn to become a better coach, a better trainer, because I'm passionate about helping people and become their greatest version. So check out our Instagram as well, which is Carlos Trainer 10. Also on our YouTube channel, which is Carlos Trainer. Like, subscribe, and share our videos if you can. Basically completely free, so you don't pay anything. So it will be great for you guys to join us as well. So with all that said, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay fit. Have a great day.